The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for the webinar. My name is Crystal. I work here at El Toro in both sales and ad operations. I also have Matt Barrier here with me.
Hey everybody, thanks for attending today. We appreciate your time.
He focuses on lead generation. So we're going to go over a few different things. The purpose of this webinar is to let you know a background of El Toro, our different technologies and products that we have, and how they can fit into your business. So El Toro is based out of Louisville, Kentucky. We're a digital ad tech company, and we have been growing very quickly. We just moved into a new office. We have recently been featured on from the Endeavor Group. We received a global award in Dubai. We also received Emerging Company of the Year. We recently have been featured in the Huffington Post and Entrepreneur.com for our political work. We have ran over 600 campaigns for political. We also were featured in an infographic from Huffington Post and Entrepreneur.com on how you can buy the presidential election with digital advertisement. So check out our blog post because we have that infographic is on there for you to see. So our founders started out doing DNS, cloud computing, and domains. They were tasked with identifying credit card fraud, the key being IP targeting. What they did is they mapped over 170 million different IP addresses across the US to link it back to where the credit card purchases were being made. Now the thing is although 170 million addresses is very impressive, it's only about 50% of the country. Therefore, it didn't really work out well in the fraud industry. They tried to figure out what they could use this IP algorithm for instead, and that is how we developed into an ad tech company. So our patent pending algorithm is where you give us a physical address, we are able to run that through our system. Our system uses 30 different public data elements, both offline and online, to hyper accurately identify the IP address. Now we are able to identify the difference between the physical IP address and the hosting IP address using this algorithm. So an example how we get this data is, for example, if you purchase something on Amazon, that is an example of transactional data. It's going to give us that stamp of where that purchase was made, that IP address that it was made at, and we use that information in conjunction with the other public data platforms to cross-reference it and identify the IP address. The great part is we only target addresses that we can identify the IP with a 95% confidence level or higher.
So real quick before I get into this slide, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in on the right side. We're gonna be going over this new deck. If anyone wants to receive the new deck, just reach out to Matt at El Toro or contact someone here, and we'll get you the deck. No problem. We're also going to be getting into the new products that we're offering towards the end of the slide. So hang tight. Just a brief story. My background is in the domain space. So like DNS.com. We previously would go to these traffic conferences for the domain space, and we would find that there were tons of companies at these conferences selling traffic. And the more we looked into this, you might have gotten an email where these companies are advertising that they can send you 100 visitors for $10. And the more we looked into this, the more that we found out that these were just robots that they were sending to our websites. And again, the more research we did and the questions we asked, we found that the robots weren't just dying after they got to our site. They would leave our site and they would go to search engines. They would go to other websites, HomeDepot.com. And while they were going to other websites, they were getting cookied from those websites. So, for instance, if a robot would go to our site and they would leave our site and go to Home Depot, they would get a cookie from Home Depot. So that robot looked like it was in the market for home remodeling services. And the more they looked like a real human, the more they could sell that traffic and that robot for. So, you might have gotten a weird contact form where a robot fills out a weird name and a weird phone number. So, Google also, they design these web crawlers that traverse the internet. They take snapshots of the internet. And, again, these crawlers are getting cookied by different websites, ESPN, and these robots that have these cookies on them are getting mixed in to the mainstream DSPs and the available traffic that the majority of people are bidding on when you're bidding on the drop down levers to target based on zip code. Because when these, again, robots fill out the contact form, they'll put in a zip code, and then the robot gets cookied with that zip code. So when you're targeting based on a zip code, these robots get mixed in with that other, real traffic. Now, not all cookie-based targeting is bad. We want to get that clear, but there is a ton of robot fraud mixed into those pools, and we'll get into this a little later. But why we're so different is we bypass all of that cookie targeting by custom integrating into our DSP app Nexus. So we've actually bypassed the cookie pool by designing this technology that bids based on IP. And until now, there was no way to bid solely based on the IP. This talks a little bit more about that the difference of cookie targeting versus how we target. We're using real hard factual offline data to target a specific IP. So with cookie targeting and online logic, an IP address, for example, has been to a yacht website. Therefore, that cookie thinks that they own a yacht. Versus the offline logic and approach that we like to take is we want that hard factual data, typically that's provided by our clients, that says, hey, John Smith, he owns a yacht. He has a specific credit score. He owns 2 cars. And we target that person at that particular physical address and that IP that we have verified in our database. So as the side says, stop guessing and start knowing exactly who you want to target.
So just like Matt was talking about, we take that offline data just like the direct mail world does, and you're targeting your desired audience. So we are able to take that list of people that are potential clients and target them at their household using their IP. Now, when we're targeting them, we are hitting them on their desktops, their laptops, their cell phones. Any device that's connected or hardwired into their Wi-Fi are going to receive our ads. And those can be display ads or video ads. So we've taken a method of direct mail that has worked for years, and now we've become digital direct mail.
So I love this slide because, as it says, it's time to rethink, direct mail. And a lot of clients and agencies that I'm talking to anymore, I try to get them to think of banner ads differently as they browse the internet. When you're looking at these banner ads on ESPN at the top and sides of those pages, don't necessarily look at them just as banner ads anymore. Start to, think of those ad spots as the new digital mailbox, as the slide says. You have now, through our technology, the opportunity to put your message literally front and center wherever your target person goes. If he goes to weather.com, we are actively bidding to put your message, your ad, front and center wherever that person goes. And it's very hard, what we're finding, to get away from that messaging. And that's what we're finding is really moving the needle and getting these customers and potential clients to convert.
So the way it works is you would provide us with a list of addresses that you are wanting to target. That's going to run through our IP algorithm that we just went over, and it's going to give you back an append. That append is going to tell you who we can target and who we cannot target. So for example, if you give us a list of 1 million physical addresses, we can target on average 50% of that list. The important thing to remember is the reason why we only target an average of 50% is because of that confidence level we talked about just a minute ago. We only target IP addresses at a 95 confidence level or higher. So if they don't fall above that confidence level, we are not going to match them as a targeted IP. So you would receive, after you run your list through our algorithm, you're going to receive that append, and it's going to have an extra column in the Excel file, and it's going to actually tell you who we can target and who we cannot. Then those ads are going to be served and bidded on just by their IP address. We had to create our own real-time bidding system to bid on the IP addresses, so we're only showing it to the people that are on your list that we said that we could target. What is also helpful is with that append list that gives you the targets and the non-targeted, your control group, we are able to provide you with a matchback analysis. What that is at the end of your campaign, if you or your clients can provide us with a conversion list, all we need is the physical address. We can take the list of conversions or those sales and cross-reference them with the original append list. We will pull out every match, whether it was in the targeted group or in the control group, and then we will give you an analysis. That analysis will tell you how many conversions were in each group, and will also give you the response rate and the lift or the improvement rate for the people we were able to target with this campaign versus the people we did not target. So we really focus on return of investment, and this is a great way to show you those actual conversions. Just because clicks and click-through rate isn't always the most reliable. Someone could see an ad and actually never even click on it, but then go to the car dealership and check out the car because of an ad they saw it. So this gives your campaigns the credit that they deserve, so you can see that tangible ROI instead of just looking at click-through rate, which is the traditional way of digital targeting. Now, another product we have is captive audience. I like to call this venue targeting. Instead of targeting households, we're actually targeting locations. So let me give you an example of how this would work. Say that you have a client or you yourself are attending a trade show. We could target that IP address within that trade show, not only at that venue, but we could also target the hotel surrounding it. That way, when people are staying at a hotel the night before the trade show and they get online and they look up for a place to eat or something to go do that night, your ads can be displayed. And you can make them as granular as you like. So if you want to say, hey, come check us out at XYZ trade show on the second floor, you can do that to help drive traffic and efficiency for that trade show for you and your company. When we do this, we are targeting the actual IPs within the locations. The big difference between us and geo-targeting or geo-fencing is geo-targeting does not know the difference between a hosting location and a physical location. We manually go in and harvest that data, so we know the difference between the hosting and the physical. Another thing or difference between geofencing is we don't use the cell towers or the cookies to target these people. Instead, we're just using that physical IP address. So we're taking out all of the extra things that can skew where your ads are going to be served, and we know on a 1-to-1 ratio that it's going to be served at these buildings that we're targeting. The next thing we wanted to discuss is just some of our new ad tech that we have coming out this year. We continue to grow and we're continuing to launch new products and new technology, one of which is email to IP. So say you have a client that does not have a physical list already of people they wanted to target, and they already do email blast. What you're able to do is place a pixel into the email blast. Anytime that email is opened, we are able to capture that IP address, and then that gives you a segment of IPs to target just like we do with our normal campaigns. So then we can reach out to those people who have opened your email through display ads or video ads. The next product, we actually just launched this a few weeks ago, is our digital new movers. This is a product we're very proud of. We partnered with Averick Direct. They are the leader in new mover data. We are able, with our partnership with them, to reach a $200 billion a year industry. So how it works is slightly different. Instead of you having to provide us with the list of people or physical addresses you're wanting to target, you just tell us what category you're wanting to target. You can target pre-movers, people who have listed their house for sale, escrow, so they've already got a contract on their house, or post-movers. Data shows on average, new movers spend almost $9,000 in the first 30 days of moving. So hitting these new movers first is critical. Instead of having to wait weeks to hit them with a direct mail piece or to get that information to target them, we're able to target them within 24 hours of them activating their internet.
Just to piggyback on what she said about new movers, just some good examples that if you have clients in these spaces, I mean, there's a ton of verticals that apply. And until we started researching this, we didn't even think of these things. But dentists, one of the new guys here, he just moved from Las Vegas, and they don't offer the same insurance in Kentucky as they do where he came from. So insurance companies, dentists, restaurants. There's a wide variety of clients that can get into this market. Home Depot, targeting these new movers that just moved into their home. Lawn service. This right here we're going to get into very quickly. Our Reseller Kit is basically a Google Drive that we give all of our resellers access to, and that's going to have everything from different sales material, white label. You're able to take and brand yourself. There's all kinds of matchback analysis where we take basically a control group that only got a direct mail piece, and we compare it to the group that we targeted. And as you can see here, there was 20,000 direct mail pieces that went out and got 16 conversions. The group that we targeted was more than half at 9,000, less than half, and we had 19 conversions. So over 160% improvement. And that was just a random one I clicked on. But we give you access to, we have tons of these to look through.
We also recommend the Spider.o talks about blogs and all of the different click farms and things that Matt covered. If you're interested in this more after you read into it, we are going to do an actual webinar on it. So just keep an eye on our website, or also just let your account manager know, and we'll give you some more information. It just talks about the fraudulent traffic and the bot traffic that's out there. So sharing the PC's owner cookies, things like that.
And then again, this is straight from Google. So this is an awesome blog if you have time to browse through. And again, we'll be doing a separate webinar solely on Spider.io. So stay tuned for that.
Another website is moat.com. I highly recommend this website when making your creative. You can actually search by industry and see what your competitors are doing to get ideas of effective creative and messaging within them. So that's a great resource tool for you guys. Along with Unbounce. Unbounce is more for landing pages. So it's going to give you information regarding what works on landing pages and what doesn't. So if you're building a new landing page, this is a great way and resource to look into. All right, so I'm just going to go back over the process a little bit. The El Toro process is you give us that physical address list of consumers that you're wanting to target. We run it through our algorithm, and then it's going to come back with a match rate. That algorithm will give you a list of addresses that we are able to target based off of their IP address. Then we will use our patent pending real-time bidding system to bid on that physical IP address versus the traditional way of bidding on serving ads. After your campaign, we will offer to do a matchback. All you have to do is put in a support ticket and request it and provide us with the sales data. We'll do a matchback and we'll actually be able to cross-reference and give you that tangible ROI. So that's just a rundown of everything we went over today.
So yeah, again, if you want to see this deck or want this deck, we also have a video at the end here you can look at. We're going to open it up now for questions. If anyone has questions, feel free to type them in. One from Greg: how is this drastically different than creating a custom first-party audience? If we have a list of, say, 25,000 prospects with a direct mail, email, phone profile. If you can clarify that, or if you want to email me, Matt at El Toro, I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Maybe, this sounds like still it's based on cookie profiles. So again, we don't target based on, email or cookies associated to emails or profiles. We're targeting based on, a direct correlation from hard factual data from a physical address to an IP address, and we target that IP. We don't use any kind of cookies to target. But again, if that doesn't answer your question, you can clarify here or just email me one off. Someone is breathing like Darth Vader. Sorry, Gloria. We just moved into a new office, so we have a ton of construction going around. So I promise it wasn't one of us. I think it was a drill. So someone said, I missed the whole presentation. I came in late. So again, if you want to, we'll be doing this every Thursday. So if you want to attend another one, we're also recording this. So I'll try to get the recording converted over and sent out to you, Gloria. Another one, where do the ads appear? Again, we advertise wherever that person goes. So if you're targeting John at 123 Main Street, we're sniffing all of the incoming traffic into AppNexus's platform. So, if that IP address that's correlated to that physical address that you're trying to target goes online, we see that and it pops up on our radar. And so when they go to ESPN.com, we see that IP goes to ESPN.com, and we have this technology in place that it takes fractions of seconds, but we're actively bidding to put your ad in front of that person in real time when they go to a website.
So another question was about the digital new movers. Are we able to purchase the list to do direct mail in conjunction with the IP targeting? You can actually purchase the list directly from Averick. It is a one-time list that you will receive from them based off of the start of your campaign. So then you can take that and actually send a direct mail piece out to the people you're targeting for digital new movers.
So good question, Joe. It says, if we have IP addresses, can you reverse engineer your process and tell us who lives there, name, address, phone, etc.? So we do see that information, but we cannot give that out. So, we're a technology company, not a data provider, and we try to stay out of that world. Once we start providing data and letting it out of our system, we get held to a lot more strict standards, and we become a data broker at that point. So we don't want to be a data broker. We just want to be an IP targeting technology. Good question. Thanks, Gloria. So is there anything different than you have added? Follow-up, CRM, etc.? Not sure exactly what that means. If you want to clarify, I can handle that offline or here. Another question. So we don't have any data to target any addresses. So yeah, so we can help you if you have a specific set of demographics or an ideal candidate that you're looking for. One, we can create lookalike models. So if you just have a customer list, we can create lookalike models for you and target them. And also we can help you get lists, get physical home addresses of exactly who you're trying to reach. So can you overlay data on top of the new mover segments? So yes, we would just introduce you to Averick Direct at that point, and they can get you, if you want specific people with a certain credit score, or again, they have 2 cars or own 4 cars, have 4 kids. We can get pretty granular with the targeting and help you find a demographic that you're trying to reach for your client. So yeah, to clarify, Gloria says, she's wanting to know if someone clicks an ad, do we have a way to prospect or feed that into the CRM? So no, not at this point. No, the short answer is no. If they click an ad, we cannot tell you, the home or the person. Again, we can't release any kind of data like that. We can tell you things like impressions, things that you see if you have a Google Analytics account, typical clicks, top 10 sites that all your ads were served on.
That's what we use the matchbacks a lot for too. That's why if you can provide us with a list of sales or conversions, we can cross-reference it to try to give you an idea of who purchased or converted based off of IP targeting. So you're actually able to see where your advertising is doing.
Yeah, again, because we put a T and an F next to every address. T is true, F is false. So you're going to know up front the homes we're targeting. So again, yes, if you give us a sales list of John 123 bought a car, 123 Main Street bought a car, we can take that sales data and cross-reference to that list of homes that have T's next to it that we were targeting. So Gloria has another question. So I send you a list, you feed them the ads, and then it's up to them to contact me. I can't contact them because I won't know who clicked. So basically, it's a conversion. So yeah, we work with you with an optimization landing page. You give us that information. You give us 3 things to start a campaign. It's going to be that list of homes to target. It's going to be the set of creative or the ad, and then the URL landing page. So, in an ideal situation, that ad is going to get them to click, and they'll go to a landing page URL, and there'll be some type of form capture to get their name and information, or a specific address to come into a store and buy something. So again, it's not necessarily about clicks so much as it is ROI and conversions that we can prove on the back end. If anybody else has any questions, go ahead and put them in. I think we're going to wrap up. We definitely appreciate everyone's time. And again, reach out to your sales contact if you have more questions. Our number's right here, 502-353-0390. Feel free to give us a call if you have more questions. Thank you.